Fan films, make more of them. They're way better than any of the dribble that is getting pushed out by Hollywood.
Whoa!
Now, what we have to talk about today, and I know it came out like at the end of last week, it's been out for almost 7 days. We're talking about Joker's Wild, which is a fan film about a certain scene where Jason Todd, the second Robin, was killed in the comic books. And this is like a fan fiction film of how that happened, how the Joker made it happen. So we got a torture scene. It's about 13 minutes long. You can watch it for free on YouTube at Joker's Wild. I will leave that in the description down below. But we got to talk about it. So I do have to preface this. I did not grow up being a comic book reader. The random stray one would come into my grasp, and I would read that, but I never got into like giant overarching stories. I'm way more of a film guy, film and TV. That's my purview. So basically, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to give you my little review of it. It's just a 13-minute video. You can watch it for yourself. And then we'll talk about the articles and how they try to pick it apart. So I know my rating system is a little bit wonky with some kind of stuff. Um, when I say wonky, I can really love a movie and I just rated a 6 out of 10 because I look at more technical features of it rather than did I enjoy it. But let's just get that out of the way and say, did I enjoy this? 100% yes. I freaking enjoyed the heck out of this. Now, did I have my nitpicks and gripes? Of course. That just comes with the territory. Um, but here's one of the things. Other than a couple of cut shots, and I know they were probably doing this because it was independently funded and it's a fan film. So I'm not saying we give it more leeway, but I'm saying I understand from a production standpoint why they would choose to do some things this way. There were a couple things that were cut that I think they could have shown in more graphic nature, if, especially whenever you see the end product of that graphic nature. They weren't shying away from that. So I feel like they kind of should have just go ahead and show it. They did, and the reason why I say that is because they obviously had the gore effects ready to go. This is R rated, by the way. If you don't know, like this is no holds barred. It's not for kids, and you can also tell that they're doing the best that they can. Um, one little thing that irritated me because they have David Howard Thornton there, and this is the first time I'm mentioning him in this video. Oh my goodness, how could I? The whole reason for me doing this video is because the actor who plays Art the Clown went to a fan film to play a version of the Joker. And this is what we got out of it. And oh my goodness, is it stunning? It is absolutely stunning. As far as the film aspect of it goes, his acting is on point. It's he's very creepy in certain ways. I feel like they gave him too many takes or demanded too many takes because it's not exactly cohesive the entirety of the time, but you do get to see that maniacal aspect of the Joker, especially when in the killing phase and in this kind of phase of where it's supposed to be taken from. My gripe is yes, they made the face, but his facial expressions are already so emotive that I think the fact that they used like a mold over him where his Jay Leno chin. I know people have said that before, but that's exactly what it looks like. His Jay Leno butt chin is just not moving while his eyes, his you could tell his facial expressions under here and where it glues to the top of his hairline. Everything else is moving and emoting with I feel like David Howard Thornton needs more recognition for how much he puts into the thing. So it's kind of like an Andy Serkis situation. Andy Serkis did all of that stuff wearing just like wetsuits and all the like the little CGI motion tracker balls and everything like that to put in that performance for Gollum. David Howard Thornton is that level of actor. He is so dadgum good. He can emote with so much with just his face. And you'll find out in this one that he can emote with his voice too. So it's worth it just for that alone. Also, you don't have to pay anything. So why not just go freaking watch it? But the prosthetics that they have across his face, and then the very noticeable headline is something that I've heard about. But here's what I have very good things to say about the freaking lighting. I know some people talk about cinematography. There's not really that much of it. They're stable shots. There's nothing moving or anything like that. It's all set in one room. So cinematography is not how I would say anything about that. But the lighting is fucking pristine, especially the way that David Howard Thornton playing the Joker like goes into shot, goes out of shot, goes into the shadow, comes out of the shadow whenever he appears in the light. Oh, it's so good. And his line delivery is really good too. You could tell the guy who plays Robin too. I have to give him credit. You could tell he's an amateur, but not in the worst way. Just the acting here in general is pretty damn good. But this is David Howard Thornton's show. I'm surprised that he's not the one that directed, wrote, and produced it because it's all about him. Everyone else is just a side character. And by what I mean when I say everybody else is there's only two other characters. And I don't want to like spoil it for you, but it's just a short video. So what would I rate it? I would rate it. mm, I'd have to go 5 out of 10. I know that's gonna piss a lot of people off, and I understand. I understand. But if people are going to say the same thing, like, all right, it's a kids' movie, so you have to judge it a little less harshly. No. If you're going to have a set in stone rating thing, you need to stay true to it. So, and I don't do decimals either. So, there we go. It's a 5 out of 10, but I highly suggest you watch it. Now let's go into an article talking more about it. So, just to show the comic book, some of the comic book sides of this that I have no clue about what it is. So obviously, this is what's going to be the headline: the Terrifier star lands a dream role as legendary Batman villain, but not in James Gunn's DCU. I forgot to talk about that earlier off the cuff. Yes, this is the fan film. This is has no interaction with DCU whatsoever. Yet it's making more waves than James Gunn DCU is. So let's look at it that way. He is starring as Batman's most dangerous foe in the 2025 fan film Joker's Wild. Boom, boom, boom. By Aaron W. Bennett. Shout out Aaron W. Bennett. You did a great job, man. I appreciate your work ethic and everything you put into that. You got you got a very bright future if you keep on with it. So basically, what I've been told in this article is that it's paying homage to a must-read comic book storyline, A Death in the Family from '88, written by Jim Starlin and drawn by Jim Aparo. Don't know how to pronounce that. Don't even, whatever. And this is the part where the boy wonder, Jason Todd, the second Robin, ends up dying, and Joker killed him. We see a very different version of that happen from what happened in the comic books, but the end result, I guess you could say, is still the same. They go on to say that yes, it takes many liberties and it's reimagining of the story, but that's the idea of fan fiction anyway. Like, especially if it wasn't shown, you only saw the end result. Yes, that's what fan fiction was basically made for. But a funny thing that I found out whenever I was reading through this is that the way so you basically get no backstory. There is no three arc structure in this. This is one scene. That's what that whole 13-minute thing is. It is one scene. You only get the payoff. So it's good to see this coming out, like fearing his biological mother in the comics. Sheila Haywood is in danger. Robin, he disobeys Batman's orders to not take on the clown prince of crime alone. And that's what everyone's been calling him in all these articles. So I've heard it before, but I'm not going to keep saying it. And his decision to go against Batman, that's what lands him in this trouble because he didn't know how sadistic Joker was. Well, he finds out quick, fast, and in a hurry, and it's not for the faint of heart. Like I said, it is R rated. So if you're squeamish, there will be some parts in there where you don't like. There's also some practical effects. I feel like David Howard Thornton probably could have told him some stuff from Leon that does all the Terrifier things. Like, there's a way to make it more realistic, or at least make it gorier and better because they weren't up against any kind of like MPAA rating. But that's just where I'm coming from at this point in time. Obviously, I from everything that I've seen, I know it's not faithful enough to the comics, and it is just kind of like a side little fantasy fiction thing. But for what it is, and what I'm here to do is rate it on its own merits for how it stands alone. I think you will really enjoy yourself. It is very well lit. It is well shot. I wouldn't call cinematography, but it is very well shot. The acting is superb, and it's just another way for David Howard Thornton, who is Art the Clown, to just to flex his acting chops, his facial expressions and everything, where even though he does talk in this quite a bit, he's talking, laughing, being maniacal the entire time, and just like showing you how insane the Joker is. But just the facial things that goes on with the acting and how he can convey emotions even stuck behind that immovable mask. I feel like the guy I feel like he needs a better shake in life. But if you have seen it, you're gonna see it now because it's down in the comment section below. Y'all let me know what you think. We are waiting for Terrifier 4 because I absolutely love that franchise. But this is Multi from the GCA. Y'all have a great evening, and we will talk to you later. Bye bye.